Last episode, we got ourselves back on track. Van Dijk signed a new contract, English wonder kid Adam Wharton joined the club, Salah finally found his shooting boots, and we finally started our Champions League adventure. And whilst the games are coming thick and fast, it's time to start off with your comments. Good afternoon, Mr. Adrian. Your scout has returned after scoring 98% in his midterm examinations. I believe that warrants a raise in my paycheck. I'm delighted to see that you've started managing Liverpool, and my transfer suggestions are as follows. Piero Hincapié is a player heavily linked with Anfield in the closing stages of the window. He's a young, pacey and well-built, and he can learn from Van Dijk and is definitely capable of succeeding him as our number one centre-back. Until then, he can provide good competition to Konate and maybe even dethrone him. And David Hanko, a perfect fit for our system. Hanko can play out from the back and feed passes into the midfield. His stamina will also allow him to make lung-bursting runs into the midfield and lure attackers away before passing it to the midfielders. His composure would make an impenetrable backline as well. Now, whoa. All this talk about pay rises. I might be a world-class manager, but I'm certainly not made of money. You got to pick that one up with Mr. John Henry. But it's obviously wonderful to see some new scout reports coming through, so let's get straight down to business. Now, at 22 years of age and 81 rated, Piero Hincapié would certainly be a fantastic addition to this Liverpool squad, but unfortunately for me, it looks like the London club Chelsea have beaten us to the punch, and so unfortunately, we will not be able to secure his services, at least in the opening couple of seasons. David Hanko, on the other hand, 4 years his senior, but still at the same level, could still be a very interesting option for me, but as you can see, it seems like these London clubs are moving far quicker than I am, as he's been able to secure a move to West Ham United. However, with Liverpool obviously being a much better team and a much bigger team playing at the highest level, I'm sure at some point on this career mode I might be able to tempt the 26-year-old to make the move to Anfield. I do like the idea though of potentially bringing in a left-sided defender to be the long-term replacement for Virgil van Dijk, because obviously Konate will play on the right-hand side and he's going to need a long-term partner. And with me not seeing a future at the club for Joe Gomez, and with Kwanzaa still having a long way to go before he shows that great potential, I certainly think another centre-back is going to have to be high on my priority list, so let me know in the comments below if you've got any other suggestions. You should sell Alisson, recall Mamardashvili and sign a winger to replace Salah. So starting off with selling Alisson, wow, that is a bold call. The 31-year-old at 89 rated is arguably the best goalkeeper in the entire world, and whilst yes, he had a couple of huge howlers against the likes of Ipswich and Brentford in episode 1, his man-of-the-match performance against AC Milan in the Champions League helped us to a vital point on the opening game, which I'm sure without him, we would have definitely lost that match. It's a fair point though about Georgi Mamardashvili, because in any other club I'm sure he would be the number one. 85 rated, he's an absolutely fabulous signing for Liverpool, and I think once he returns from his loan spell at Valencia, there are going to be some serious questions asked about what I'm going to do between the two of them and who is eventually going to be the number one goalkeeper at the club. Once again, let me know down in the comments below whether or not you think I should stick with Alisson, whether or not you think in Season 2 I should give Mamardashvili a chance, and who you would like to see as the long-term number one here at Liverpool Football Club. As for signing a winger to replace Mo Salah, yes, we did have a little bit of a shaky start with a huge falling out in the opening few minutes of episode 1. He did get that all-important goal against our arch-rivals Manchester United in the last episode, and his performances seem to have lifted the spirit here at Liverpool Football Club. However, with him only having 9 months left on his contract and him making it clear to John Henry that he does want to leave the club on a free come the end of the season, you're absolutely right. Just like Virgil van Dijk, I'm going to have to look for a long-term replacement for one of our star players. I guess the big question is though, do we think that the 26-year-old Federico Chiesa has what it takes to step up and be the main man here at Liverpool once Mo Salah departs the club? Or do we think I'm going to have to bring in a big money and big name replacement to try and raise the star power here at Anfield? Once again, it's all down to you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As for today though, with the games coming thick and fast, we're diving straight back into the action with a 4-1 thumping of Bournemouth before frustratingly falling to a cup upset, getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup 2-1 by Notts County. And so that is why we're taking matters into our own hands here, facing off against Crystal Palace away from home in our very first game of episode 3. And as you can see, due to a little bit of fatigue and trying to freshen things up here, I have made a couple of changes to my usual starting 11. The likes of Kwanzaa and Gomez start at the back with Baird on the left-hand side. You can also see Nunez and Gakpo form that attacking front three. Here we go then. We've got to make sure that we get back to winning ways, and we get back to winning ways fast. We've been up and down a little bit in all cup competitions so far in this career mode. What can we do to make a change to that early doors here as Darwin Nunez has it, forces the goalkeeper into a smart save early doors. Tries to play it forward into Darwin Nunez, who holds the ball up well and looks to feed it into Mo Salah on the right-hand side. He's waiting for the underlap of Trent Alexander-Arnold, instead skips past the challenge of the Crystal Palace defenders. Into Trent he goes, who's just straight offside. Into Richards, who tries to dink it forward, but Adam Wharton did enough to try and win the ball back, and Gomez plays it into Gakpo. Gakpo into Dominic Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai, audacious strike! What a save from the goalkeeper. But we're peppering the goal. We're getting closer and closer with every attempt so far as McAllister tries to dink it in, gets rebounded. Crystal Palace get the ball clear. Kwanzaa heads it down into McAllister. We're really starting to ramp up the pressure here. Gakpo with a lovely touch and turn away. Can't feed it back though, can Darwin Núñez. Palace have the throw. It's Franca on the left-hand side, weaving away from the challenge of Trent Alexander-Arnold as Kamada tries to get away from the challenge of Alexis Mac Allister. Does do a good enough job of doing so, and Franca picks it up once again. Into the striker now, but Kwanzaa comes across. Really good job defending, deputising for Virgil van Dijk as Mac Allister now plays it into the feet of Mo Salah. The Egyptian threads it through, looking for Darwin Núñez, who can't get on the loose ball. Once again, I'm really struggling to find the back of the net so far in this career mode. I've only actually scored the one goal in all the games I've played, and that was a very late winner against Manchester United with Mo Salah as it's flung to the edge of the box. Headed clear, only out as far as Decore for Palace, and they continue to try and attack and breathe down our necks as Mo Salah though wins the ball back in a really good position, and now the Egyptian is clean through here, gets away from the challenge of a couple of defenders, and he plays it along the ground. My goodness, where is his shooting boots? Well, once again, that is all my fault. I'm really struggling to get to grips here with FC 25. The gameplay feels very different, and I cannot quite seem to find the back of the net as I struck from distance with Darwin Núñez straight down the pipe into the goalkeeper's arms. Mo Salah looking to make amends for that earlier horrendous miss as Dominic Szoboszlai plays a lovely ball through into Darwin Núñez. Across to Mo Salah. Now surely this is going to be the last attack of the first half. Darwin Núñez though can't get his head on it. Loops over as the referee blows for half time. Well, it's been an entertaining first half, but a first half that is so far goalless in the opening 45. We've got to try and see if we can make a change to that here in the second half as Palace are looking to try and be the team to make a change, but we win it back in a good position, and Darwin Núñez now feeds it out to Mo Salah. Everything at the moment does look like it's going to come through the Egyptian, and he's really feeling the pressure after missing that howler in the opening 45. Adam Wharton though feeling the pressure, trying to get to grips with the pace of this game against his former club. He does a good job of doing enough to win the ball back in the centre, and now Mo Salah is fed out wide on the right hand side. Darwin Núñez can't get past that stubborn Palace defence though, and once again they get the ball clear. It's Kamada for Palace. Wharton though with a crunching challenge against his former teammate as Mac Allister plays it into the feet of Darwin Núñez. Núñez looks for the ball into Mo Salah. It was just too heavy. And once again, I think I'm going to change things up here. It worked for me against Manchester United, switching these inside forwards out to wingers to try and provide a little bit more width. And I'm also going to make a couple of changes as well. Salah, Gakpo and Adam Wharton all going to come off. Chiesa, Luis Diaz and Ryan Gravenberch all going to come on to try and see if they can do something to spark some sort of life into this attack. Ed with the throw into Dominic Szoboszlai. It's Gravenberch's first touch since coming on as a sub, and he looks like he's just making some space for a shot, drags it wide though. Szoboszlai once again, this time into Mac Allister, plays it around the corner into Trent Alexander-Arnold, who obviously has come into the centre of the park to get himself involved and almost run into a little bit of bother there, but he's managed to feed it out wide to Chiesa, and Chiesa's going to look to throw it into the box. It's right to the back post into Diaz, the header to absolutely no one. Gravenberch though picks it up back in the centre of the park here. Mac Allister looking for the ball out to Diaz. He's unable to find him though, and we're unable still once again to break down this stubborn Crystal Palace defence here as Darwin Núñez tries to play it into, I think that was Dominic Szoboszlai making the run. Couldn't quite find him, and again Palace holding firm here as Luis Diaz bursts down the left hand side. I'm looking for Darwin Núñez in the box. He's not making the run into the box, and once again another attack breaks down. But once again we get the ball back after pressing high. Luis Diaz on the edge of the box, lines up the strike straight at the goalkeeper. Marder for Palace skips away from the challenge of Alexis Mac Allister now and tries to skip away from the challenge of Kwanzaa. Isn't able to though. Alexander-Arnold wins the ball back well. Kwanzaa picks it back up. These weather conditions really having an adverse effect on my gameplay here as the ball is flying about left, right and centre as Luis Diaz brings it away. He's got the overlapping run of Baird down the left hand side. It's a good ball to the left back, and now he's going to try and see if he can feed in Luis Diaz. He can't. Poor pass once again. That's the story of the game. We've got a corner though. We've got literally 1 minute plus stoppage time remaining on the clock here for Szoboszlai to try and chuck this one into the box. He chucks it in so far. Right into the goalkeeper's arms though, and it's another chance that's gone begging. And that turned out to be that because the referee called time on the game, and whilst it was an entertaining affair here at Selhurst Park, it was a goalless one as it finishes 0-0. And to make matters worse, I thought Andy Robertson had just picked up a knock, which is why Melvin Bard took his place in the starting 11, but it seems like it's a much more serious injury. He's going to be out for 2 months with an appendicitis. And with the West Londoners Chelsea up next at Anfield, things are not about to get any easier for Liverpool Football Club. We're back to the usual strongest starting 11 though, as you can see, with the return of Konate and Van Dijk at the back. Baird, of course, comes back in at left back with his opportunity to stake his claim in the starting 11. Szoboszlai Out to that man Baird, who gets his first touch of the game, and he's just trying to wriggle away to create some space that he feeds into Alexis McAllister. Alexander-Arnold skips away from one challenge, skips away almost from two challenges, but Sancho wins it back in a really good position for Chelsea, but this time Canate, the big Frenchman, with a crunching challenge to win the ball back. Diaz, though, can't get there ahead of Reece James, and at the moment it's been a real poor showing of quality so far from both teams. It's Luis Diaz who has it now and just tries to lift it over the top into the path of Diogo Jota. A real ding-dong battle between him and our summer chance for targeting Piero Hincapié, and it's off the bar from Diogo Jota with our best chance of the game. Sancho, though, for Chelsea to bring it away down this left-hand side, but McAllister wins the ball back. Brilliant play once again from the Argentinian. Mo Salah plays it back into McAllister, who tries to flick it across. It's a really poor cross, easily cleared by Chelsea. Alexander-Arnold into Mo Salah. Lovely little touch and turn away from Cucurella. Brilliant play from the Egyptian. He's going all the way himself, and he takes it on, forces Sanchez into a save. Trent will take the first corner of the game here, and I'm just going to float this one to the penalty spot. Lovely taken. Falls to Alexis McAllister on the edge of the box. Cleared away into the path of Szoboszlai. It's bouncing around, and eventually it manages to be bundled into the back of the net after some absolute calamitous defending from Chelsea at the back. We'll call the emergency services, but not for Dominic Szoboszlai, for the Chelsea back line. Because what on earth were they doing? The ball was bouncing around like a pinball. It was cleared, it wasn't cleared, and in the end, who was that? Was it Caicedo who just completely fell over the goalkeeper? Absolute shambles at the back it was. And no, it was tossing out of Rabayo. Complete and utter disaster for Chelsea. But I'm laughing all the way to the bank. It's 1-0 Liverpool. Jadon Sancho just dances his way, tricks his way past Trent Alexander-Arnold as they look to try and see if they can get back in this game quickly. But Adam Wharton with a really good challenge on Christopher Nkunku. Cole Palmer, though, who's been relatively quiet so far in this game. Chelsea have to try and get him on the ball if they want to try and make a change. But when he has got on the ball, he's gone and given it away. And now Diogo Jota, the man who I want in the centre of the park, ends up giving it away to Reece James. It's another big opportunity that we squandered. Caicedo into Cole Palmer, round the corner into Christopher Nkunku. Much better from Chelsea here. João Felix plays it back into that man Cole Palmer, and he manages to beat Melvin Bard to the punch here. Drives into the box, plays it back into the path of João Felix. Where on earth are my defenders? Lovely little chip over the top. Sancho tries to volley it in the back of the net, and he gets it all wrong. Oh my goodness, we're bouncing around all over the place defensively, just like Chelsea were earlier, and we just about managed to hack it clear. Alexander-Arnold out to Mo Salah. My goodness, this has been an absolute calamity at both ends of the pitch for both teams so far here, as the Egyptian now tries to dance his way through the Chelsea midfield into Luis Diaz on the left-hand side. Looks to play it back in. It's well read, though, by Hincapié as the referee looks to his clock and stoppage time and calls for half-time. Cole Palmer once again blocked off once again by Adam Wharton, but manages to get the better of him at the second time of asking, but doesn't manage to get the better of Virgil van Dijk now as Luis Diaz looks to try and see if he can get the better of Reece James. I was waiting for the run of Jota. He started to make the run and then didn't finish it, but Szoboszlai wins the ball back in a good position, and now Jota can't bring it through. Just too many bodies in midfield. Luis Diaz skips away from one challenge, skips away from two challenges, and now has space to run into in the centre of the park here. Looking for a ball forward, finds a ball forward into Mo Salah, who's absolutely hacked down there by the Chelsea defender, and he gets a yellow card for his troubles. He's a very lucky boy because we were clean through here, and now Trent has got an opportunity to try and dink this one in the box. The last time I had a free kick in this sort of position, I made an absolute howler of it. Let's see if I can do a little bit better this time. It is better. It's Luis Diaz. It's wide. Well, once again, I feel like I'm struggling a little bit with width here. I don't really want to substitute Mo Salah because so far he's played pretty well, so instead I'm going to try and switch up Trent Alexander-Arnold's position to be more of a wing-back to see if we can utilise those overlaps. And Nkunku, though, for Chelsea. Nice little pass back into Reece James and gets the ball back, does the Frenchman. And now he's got space to burst down the left-hand side. Melvin Bard, though, trying to hold him up. Does a good enough job of doing so, but it's Cole Palmer once again. Lovely ball into the feet of Caicedo now, the central midfielder. Into Christopher Nkunku. Blocked off, though, by Baird, but eventually manages to get the ball back. It falls to Van Dijk, who clears it away. But Chelsea now starting to turn the screw here in the second half. Luis Diaz into McAllister. Turns away from the challenge of Nkunku, I believe that was. And now Mo Salah looks to lift it over into the path of Jota. Good ball. Good thought. Couldn't get on the end of it, though. Cole Palmer tries to turn away from Melvin Bard. Does turn away from Melvin Bard, and the left back has been absolutely done there by the Englishman. Virgil van Dijk comes across to cover, though. Good defending from the big Dutchman. Chelsea have it with Nkunku, though. They're really starting to come after me now. Wave after wave of attack here as João Felix gets away from Canate. Gets away from Virgil van Dijk. Can't get away from Alisson, though. Luis Diaz trying to burst down the centre of the park and go all the way out to the right. Finds the ball to Mo Salah, looking for the run of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Feeds it back to the Egyptian, and now Mo Salah has the chance to try and burst into the box here. I'm waiting for the run of Diogo Jota. It wasn't fed to him. Just a few minutes left remaining in this game, and the subs are coming on to try and wind down the clock. Curtis Jones into Adam Wharton. Turns away from the challenge into Alexis McAllister. Federico Chiesa picks it up. Of course, the Italian looks to try and stray out wide here and go past Cucurella. Just take it to the corner flag. That's all I ask here. He holds up the ball well. Cucurella wins it back from him though. And in the end, Chelsea get a goal kick. And is it one that Sanchez? Yes, it is. He's going to absolutely pump this one forward. Anywhere will do for Chelsea. Cole Palmer has got the better of Melvin Bard all game long. But he hasn't got the better of Virgil van Dijk, who's been a colossus at the back, as you would expect. Feeds it into Cody Gakpo. Is this the last attack of the game? Cody Gakpo way over the bar. But it doesn't matter one bit because we take the share of the spoils here today at Anfield. Chelsea crestfallen. They fall to the ground as we secure a huge 1-0 victory. Well, once again, it's another very tight affair with Dominic Szoboszlai picking up the man of the match. My attack just doesn't seem to be clicking together so far this season, so any recommendations or suggestions you've got to try and change that, please let me know down below. But you wouldn't guess it based off of our Premier League position because after 8 games, we are now in third, just 2 points off of Manchester City, and the title race is starting to take shape. Speaking of a race to the top though, after a disappointing start in the Champions League, drawing 0-0 with AC Milan, and then after simming a game against FC Bologna, which we ended up losing 2-1, we're now finding ourselves in 26th spot here in this new Champions League table. And so once again, it's time for me to take matters back into my own hands here in the final game of the episode, away from home in the Champions League against RB Leipzig. And of course, due to a little bit of fatigue and of course to try and freshen things up, I have made, as you can see, a couple of changes. Kwanzaa comes in at the back to replace Virgil van Dijk. You can see Gravenberch comes in the centre of the park to replace Adam Wharton, as does Nunez up front. So here we go then to get this game started. Ryan Gravenberch to burst through the midfield, and let's see whether or not, for the first time in this career mode, if I can get more than one goal in a game, as we try to play a ball into Mo Salah, the smallest man, or one of the smallest men on the pitch. Tried to get his head on it. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. Xavi Simons for RB Leipzig. Lovely turn away there from Melvin Baird, who's getting absolutely done down that left-hand side so far this game. Firstly from Cole Palmer, and then from Xavi Simons, as he can't do enough to stop the cross coming in, and we can't do enough to stop Benjamin Šeško getting the first goal of the game. Well, he celebrates 10 minutes in, but we cannot be beaten from that sort of distance. Poor defending all round. Firstly on the left-hand side of defence with Melvin Bard, letting him get the cross in, but Konate, the big Frenchman, he cannot be beaten from there. That is what he's good at, and he's been totally out-muscled by Benjamin Šeško, who looped it over Alisson. Lovely header. 1-0. Well, not the start we would have wanted. Here's me talking about getting more than one goal, and we've gone and conceded one goal inside the opening 10 minutes. Into McAllister. Lovely turn. Trying to make a driving run through the heart of the midfield and goes and gives it away. Really, really poor start here from Liverpool inside the opening 20 minutes as Luis Openda now bursts through a midfield that is absolutely gaping as Gravenberch does just about enough to make up ground and win the ball back. Luis Diaz though, lovely turn away, and can he try and feed a ball through into Mo Salah? It's a wonderful ball into the Egyptian. Couldn't take it on though. Good defending. Javier Slager loses it to Mo Salah. The Egyptian on the edge of the box forces Gualachi into a save. That's better. We seem to have responded a little bit well after a bit of a shaky opening 20 minutes here as Trent is going to take the corner, flings it in, looking for Darwin Nunez, looking for the looping header. Good save. Almas for RB Leipzig. Benjamin Šeško, the goalscorer, coming deep to get himself involved in the play here, but instead they've gone and given the ball away, and Darwin Nunez also coming deep to get himself involved, wins it back into Dominic Szoboszlai. He was just straight offside of Luis Diaz, but Szoboszlai did enough to hold the ball up here. Luis Diaz though, into the edge of the box, looks to play it back into Darwin Nunez on his right, blocked, great defending. Luis Openda though, into the penalty area he goes, he's held up by Kwanzaa, brilliant defending from the young Englishman. But Xavi Simons picks it back up in the centre of the park here, end-to-end stuff here in Germany. Dinked over the top, right to the edge of the box. Baird can't get there. Xavi Simons picks it up, goes past Kwanzaa like he's not even there. Baird can't do enough to win the ball back. Kwanzaa though at the second attempt with another great challenge. Well, the second half is upon us here. And once again, we find ourselves in a real struggle. We're 1-0 down against Leipzig. We've had a couple of decent opportunities, but nothing to really threaten the goalkeeper. And at the moment, it looks like RB Leipzig are going to come away, with a much-needed 3 points as Luis Openda dances his way through my defence and forces Alisson into a flying save. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm struggling with FC25. I really am. I just about got used to FC24, and it really does feel different here. I don't know what about anyone else, if they feel the same way. Oh my goodness, we got very lucky there. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by that RB Leipzig chance. I'm struggling. Let me know in the comments if anyone else is, because I just can't quite get to grips with this Liverpool team so far this game, as RB Leipzig have it once again on the edge of the box. Lovely footwork here, lovely play. We can't give away any silly fouls here. Xavi Simons in the box, turns away, forces Alisson into another save. I mean, I can't even get the ball back here. It's a corner, thrown into the box, headed away though by Dominic Szoboszlai, only out as far as Benjamin Šeško. It's headed though, Xavi Simons into Elmas. Elmas somehow has stayed on side here. In the box he goes. Trent with with the challenge, we clear it. Alvin Bard nods it forward into Darwin Núñez, tries to take it away, but there's just too many bodies everywhere I turn. It seems like there's an RB Leipzig shirt, and there isn't a Liverpool shirt to be found here as Gravenberch floats it over the top. Looks for Luis Diaz on the left-hand side. He takes it down. Finally, is this going to be an attack that we can make use of here? Gravenberch looks to go back out to the left-hand side. Does go back out to Szoboszlai, looking now surely to try and play it in. He's absolutely taken out by Henriks. 65 minutes on the clock though, and I am ringing the changes. 5 big changes. I've got to try and do something, but it's Trent who's got the free kick here in a very good position to try and fling this one into the penalty spot. I'm just going to try and see if I can dink it over. It's a good ball in, looking for the header, Gakpo, and on as a substitute, his first touch this game, and it's gone straight into the back of the net. And look at the celebrations, look how much it means to me. Such an important goal in the grand context of our Champions League fight so far this season. It was a wonderful, wicked, teasing ball into the box, and Cody Gakpo rose highest. That's a fabulous header, right into the bottom corner, 1-1. Well, it's 1-1 here, and that is just what the doctor ordered. I tell you what, you want your substitutes to come on and have an immediate impact, and they don't get any more immediate than a goal on your first touch. And it's the assist maker, Trent Alexander-Arnold, now full of confidence, trying to burst down the right-hand side, skips away from one challenge, skips away from 2 challenges, and plays it into Darwin Núñez. Núñez is going to try and look to play the ball to Cody Gakpo. It was well intercepted though, and now on the counter-attack, RB Leipzig can bring the ball forward into Benjamin Šeško. Trent over the wonderful challenge. It's Curtis Jones though to lift it up over the top, looking for Cody Gakpo, and the wind and weather conditions are really having a big effect here on this game, because that ball was held up in the air for an absolute eternity as it's played over to Federico Chiesa on the right hand side, looking to just spoon it in, looking for Darwin Núñez on the head. Oh, straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Luis Openda skips away from Alexis McAllister, who looks like he's running on fumes here. Canate, though, certainly not. Crunching challenge, wins the ball back, and now Harvey Elliott tries to play it through into the path of Cody Gakpo. It was well intercepted though. Xavi Simons burst past Alexis McAllister like he's not even there. Luis Openda back into Xavi Simons. Good play here from RB Leipzig in a search for the second goal, and the winner here with just a matter of minutes and moments remaining on the clock. Kwanzaa in a real ding-dong battle trying to win the ball back. In the end it falls to Williams, turns away from the challenge, hits the side netting, and that turned out to be last chance saloon for both of these teams, because at the end we share the spoils. It finishes here in Germany, 1-1. But it's been a tough start to this career mode, I've got to be honest, and now we sit 28th in this Champions League table, and at the moment, if we continue on this poor vein of form in Europe, we're going to be crashing out of the competition early doors. Much to my surprise though, it seems like there might be a certain Egyptian who's having a change of heart here at Liverpool, because he's come knocking on my door telling me how he's happy about the way he's playing, and he's wondering whether or not now might be a good time to discuss renewing his contract. It seems like he's going against the word of John Henry, but I want to leave the decision up to you guys. With him having 8 months left on his contract, yes, he's my star player, but with him aging at 32, is now a good time for me to cut my losses and try and see if I can get some money for the Egyptian? Or should I let him go at the end of the season for a free? Or should I offer him a brand new contract? Let me know down below in the comments what you think. Because as for now, that's going to be the final game and the final act of this episode, because we're going to bring an end to episode 3. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time.